Hey, my name is Aarti Lakshmanan. I am the head of global corporate communication at Uflex. Uflex is a packaging giant, a flexible packaging giant, and we have our businesses across seven different countries across the world and now expanding as we speak. Well, I never really decided to be a communicator when I started off. I really wanted to be a reporter like everybody else wants to be. And I came across some journalists as part of my extended family, and I was very much in awe of them. And this was when I was still in college. This is when I got influenced by the kind of thrilling life that they led, where they used to get called at 2 o'clock in the night because there had been a crime at Yamuna Pushta. So I was kind of very excited by this sort of a life, and I thought that I also want to try my hand at being a reporter. Um, and right after college, I did my economic honors from Delhi University, and I applied at IIMC, cleared my written but could not clear the interview round, and I was brooding, sulking at that point that I did not make it. And just then I learnt about Television 18 India Limited, which is Network 18 now. Erstwhile it was called Television 18 India. They had launched their business news channel called CNBC, and I got to know about some roles that were some vacancies that were at CNBC. And I thought that why shouldn't I go try my luck with CNBC? And I went in there, told them that, and I went in there, and I was told that the role of reporter wasn't available immediately, but what I could do was to join the editorial as guest coordination. And guest coordination is a part of the editorial programming team that basically liaises with all the speakers who come on television. At that point I realized there's so much more to being a journalist than just being a reporter, because everybody who comes into a publication house or a television a news channel, they either want to be a reporter or an anchor. And here I realized that there is so much more to a newsroom than just being an anchor. And I thoroughly enjoyed my journey then at CNBC. In fact, while I was at CNBC, I simultaneously pursued a post graduation course in public relations from Bharati Vidya Bhavan. They used to offer at that point a course in public relations advertising in the evening. So I managed my work in the day, and I used to go for my classes in the evening. Then after a few years at CNBC, which is about 3.5, 4 years, I got to know about NDTV planning to launch its business channel. I got hired to be a part of that launch team, and NDTV was 14 years that I spent there. And the good thing about being at NDTV is that I was never limited to one function. They helped me realize my potential and chose me to start new ventures outside the newsroom as well. So I dabbled in a host of functions at NDTV, from event management to, of course, being a part of newsroom where I launched the channel. I went on to do corporate communication, investor relations, something called Ad for Equity, where I did business development and content creation for them. I went on to do fundraising. So for me, NDTV was a place which really taught me a lot in terms of being able to realize my potential. All of this was a thoroughly satisfying experience for me. And when I did all of this within NDTV, I knew my calling was in PR and communication, and this is where I always wanted to be. I'd spent a lot of years in newsroom, but by then I had come to know that this is where I would want my career now to grow. Then, chasing my dream to make a mark in communication, I joined the Uflex group in 2018. And my role today here comprises of reputation management, leading the PISO platform, as I say, which is the paid earned shared own platform conversations, team leadership, and whatever global KRAs that we have attached to communication. So that's really my journey of last 20 years that began in 2000, and here we are. I think you would have heard this from everyone, but yes, in the last 2 decades that I have been in the industry, I haven't seen a black swan event like this. When I joined CNBC, being in a news channel, I have seen the dot-com bubble burst that happened just in the year that I joined. In fact, in 2000, then there was this Lehman Brothers collapse that happened 2008, where there was a global financial meltdown. But nothing like COVID really, with people losing their livelihood, their lives to this pandemic. I think this has really been the worst that I have seen so far, and I do hope that nothing like this happens again. Coming to the packaging industry, we were fortunate to not get adversely affected by this global pandemic and the economic slowdown that we saw. This is largely because as the lockdown was implemented, supply chain of food and pharmaceutical, which are the essential items, they got affected, and packaging industry really came to the rescue of these lifeline industries. Packaging companies like ours continue to operate and have these essential items packed to be supplied to the public, which at that time needed the comfort of access to basic necessities. In fact, Uflex was one of the first packaging companies to get necessary permission from the local authorities, from the government. We worked round the clock then to get these permissions to resume operations, so that we could ensure supply chain of essential items, like rice, milk, flour. We all wanted to get access to these, but it was very important that to get access to these, the supply chain is working, and only the food and pharmaceutical companies alone couldn't have done this without, of course, having the backward integration also running smoothly. And also due to the hazards attached to non-packaged products, now Corona made because of COVID, flexible packaging, which is the industry that I come from, has found itself a safe mark amidst this pandemic. People now want their products packed. If you go to a retail store, you do not want to pick up your fruits and vegetables straight off the shelf. You want that packed. Whether your sabzi wala is coming or your vendor, and if he's selling you the vegetables earlier, you were absolutely fine, taking it unpacked. But now you want to make sure that even if the vendor is supplying something to you, it's all packed, it's sanitized. Now, as you're coming back to normalcy, we have seen sort of shift in consumption portfolio as well, with hygiene, sanitation, wellness products, immunity boosters. They all are now being added to our monthly grocery bill. We all are now making sure that we have those tulsi drops or a kada now added to our grocery bill, to our grocery list every month. And most of these are packed in flexible packaging as against the other forms of packaging, and largely, of course, due to economies of scales as well, that flexible packaging offers. The flexible packaging is a low cost packaging, and all of these factors have really boosted the demand of flexible packaging substantially. We saw a lot of what you call spout packages that have been introduced lately, which was always there but wasn't much in demand. But after COVID, we've seen a lot of demand for spout packages, and therefore that's something that Uflex also has been working a lot on now. We also started making, and at Uflex we are vertically integrated, backward and forward integration. We are across the value chain of flexible packaging. So we have 7 businesses that caters to almost every raw material that a sort of converter or final packaging company needs. So we also make these spout packaging machines that are required, and this is what is now going to be the new trend that you're going to be seeing a lot more in packaging, because it gives the shape of a rigid bottle, but it packs the same quantity, but it comes a lot more cheaper to a brand owner. So for For example, for a detergent to be packed in a rigid bottle as against a spout packaging, it's much cheaper. Yes, that is going to be the new trend. But what is really going to drive the conversation as far as flexible packaging, or for that matter packaging, goes is sustainability. Whatever innovation that you're going to be seeing from Uflex is also going to be a blend of sustainability and innovation. And we as a company have been uh, working on sustainability for the last 25 years. We were the first company in the world to recycle mixed plastic waste. These plastic wrappers that you see, which is called multi-layer packets, where you have your chocolates wrapped, or your Maggie wrapped, or your Pampers. So these kind of packets, they all are multi-layer packets, and we were the first company in the world to start recycling mixed plastic waste. We even got an award way back in 1995 for this. Our products are now all designed with the idea that we have a mix of innovation with how we can really reduce plastic waste, because that is the topic which has been debated a lot. The fact that plastic has been vilified always is something that we can't deny. We have always demonized it without, of course, realizing that there isn't really an alternative to plastic, to polymer. But that said, what we really need to work on is the problem of plastic waste. Even in developed countries right now, you do not have a recycling infrastructure much seen. This is why earlier the developed countries were dumping their plastic waste to China for recycling. And since China has refused to now cater to that waste, they've said that they will not be taking this plastic waste anymore. The developed countries are now trying to tackle the issue of plastic waste. And what is the solution that they've offered? Phase out plastic. Now, is that a viable solution? No. Over time, the industries have that have been using various forms of packaging to pack their products. And anything, if you today look at, comes only, they all come packed, whether it's your shoe, or your a cloth that you have picked up, whatever it is always packed. And it's not easy to do with plastic. Look at everyday product, like I told you, your chai or coffee, or toothpaste. The toothpaste that we use is also packed in a polymer tube. Your medicines that you eat, they come in polymer blister packs. Even in healthcare, if you see syringes, gloves. So you can't really avoid plastic, but what we really need to do as an industry is to have a solution focused approach. And that, of course, Uflex, being a flexible packaging leader, has been kind of leading the industry, steering the industry to see how we can minimize plastic waste. And we've been working on various solutions. We have a film. We are into packaging films as well. That's a very large part of our business. Almost about 45% of our revenue comes from that. And that's a business that takes us outside India as well. The outside the locations that we have are all packaging films. There we have come up with a film format which is made out of PET bottles waste. These PET bottles are collected. I mean, the ones that I use, they are collected. They are converted into, they're recycled into chips, and out of these chips, we are making plastic packets again. So basically, a plastic bottle, used plastic bottle, takes the shape of probably a packet that can wrap your chips inside. So you actually can really look at giving a second life to plastic. We're also going to come up with something which is biodegradable technology, where the plastic that does not get collected, we are coming up with a solution that will convert this plastic wrapper waste into biomass as it comes into contact with soil. That is something that I'm very proud of, the fact that my company has been working on this religiously. We actually have foreseen a recycling infrastructure in Noida in our at our headquarter, where we wash and recycle PET bottles waste. We collect that from Delhi NCR, and we also wash and recycle multi-layer plastic waste. So we've been inviting all the industry, all the CPGs that we work with. We've been inviting government to come and have a look at and demonstrating what we've been doing, to tell them that this is possible and we can replicate this model across India, across the world. In fact, we are now looking at replicating this model at almost all the plants that we have. And do you know that out of the multi-layer packet waste, which is basically your the chocolate wrappers or the noodles that comes packed, etc., if it gets recycled, they can be converted into roads, they can be converted into outdoor benches, furniture, they can be converted into the paver tiles, various kind of tiles. They can be put to use for industrial uses as well. But the problem is that they are right now not being collected, and therefore they're not being recycled. So it's very important that recycling and collection of these plastic waste becomes an industry on its own. Besides that, we also convert waste into fuel, which is basically used back within the company to run our plants and all. So there are various solutions like these, but I guess one really needs to work on this as not in isolation, not in silos, but really as as an industry that has to come together. And the plastic industry, the plastic packaging industry, needs to have a sort of a solution focused approach to minimize plastic waste, work on technologies that make plastic have a better use after discarding it, or make it biodegradable, put up recycling infrastructure, incentivize the rack picker, like I gave you an example earlier, to pick up those plastic wrappers, have polymer packaging made out of plastic, made out of recyclable waste, or not out of fossil fuel. Right now we use fossil fuel to make those PET resins, but have a technology where we use recyclable waste, and it's possible. We are doing that. So come up with such solutions, and I think as an industry we'll be able to address and tackle the issue of plastic waste this way. But of course, all of this requires an equal support of all the CPGs, the consumer product good companies as well, that we work with, because they are the ones who buy these packets from us. And equally, we require the consumers to be aware of this. Unless consumers like you and I do not ask for green packaging, sustainable packaging, there won't be a pressure back on the CPGs to sell their products in recyclable or green packaging. And only then will we really see the industry coming together to have a solution that will address the problem of plastic waste. Okay, so on my personal and professional learnings, first of all, I think I'd just rather group them under one. Honestly, there are one too many. I'll just highlight a few. I think first of all, which I totally believe in, is that there's no better learning than being in that situation. Yes, academics is important in the journey, but the application of that knowledge and theory could be very different in a real life situation. Everyone should have an opportunity to face all possible scenarios to make them a better decision maker. Second would be, work hard, but work smartly. Whatever you plan, you execute it, you will see a positive outcome. And yes, whatever work you pick up, make sure that you do it with passion. Don't do it for the sake of it, otherwise just drop it. But if you're picking up a project, make sure that you, or a role, you have the passion and zeal to do it. One more learning that I would say, and I believe in, is that every day is a new learning in your professional journey. It's okay to accept that you do not know something, and learn it from those who know it. It may be a subordinate, it may be a superior, it may be a peer, but never stop learning, and never stop learning just because it is from somebody you think you should not be learning. So make use of that opportunity and always keep going at it. Third is to have a plan C. Always have a plan C. Yes, you have a plan A and B, but always have fallback options, so that if something doesn't work out as expected, you have not just one but a couple of options. What I really like to say is that for women is, don't let don't let anyone draw a line around you. Don't let anyone limit you. We all have dreams, goals, and sometimes we do get caught up in our daily life, or we get distracted putting our dreams on the back burner. But um, you know uh, go chase that dream. Your goal could be having a smashing career, or it could be just taking a break to pursue singing, something that you always want to learn. Do that. Go chase that dream, find yourself, uh, own your life, and write your own story. As they say, be the protagonist of your story. So that's something that I'd like all women to kind of take note of. Next would be that, which I kind of resonate with is also that, when you uh, choose to have a career and home run together, one might take priority over another at times. It's okay if that happens. When we dare to make a choice, we might earn the tag of also being selfish. Don't give in to others' judgments. It's okay to be selfish. In fact, you rather see how you can have a strong support system at home that helps you carry on with your career, instead of worrying about who's saying what, and worrying about others' judgments.